After being a fan of NBA basketball for several decades at this point, I've noticed the tendencies of the league office and of the media. To put it simply, the media doesn't always play fairly. Some guys are just celebrated for basically everything they do. I'm talking about the poster children of the league. The guys that, for one reason or another, have been embraced by the media and are pushed as the role models of the league. Take for example a player like Michael Jordan. Now yes, I firmly believe that he is the greatest player in basketball history, but two things can be true at once. It was within the NBA's best interest to promote Michael Jordan and convince everyone that they want to be like Mike. He was sold, in a way, as the hero of the league. Obviously, Michael Jordan is celebrated for the championships he won, but some of his performances are celebrated and remembered fondly even though they came in defeat. Like Game 2 in the first round of the 1986 playoffs, where Jordan dropped an NBA postseason record 63 points against the Boston Celtics. Regardless of the final score, that was a legendary performance that deserves to be commemorated on a frequent basis. But what if I told you that there was a similar performance in the NBA's past, but it is almost never celebrated to the same extent, because it came from a quote villain of the league rather than a hero? I'm talking about one utterly incredible performance from the highly controversial NBA champion, Isiah Thomas. Whether it was back in the 1980s when he was in his prime, or even today when we're looking at his career in hindsight, the NBA media has always been reluctant to embrace this star and promote his all-time great performances. And honestly, that's not surprising if you know his history. Isiah Thomas was the famous leader of the bad boy Detroit Pistons, a team that was notorious for their rebellious attitude and for their physically punishing defense. It was very common during that era for the Pistons to commit an excessive foul that would result in an all-out brawl between both teams. And the most annoying part was that they reveled in it. They took pride in the fact that they were the hated villains of the NBA. So to put it bluntly, there wasn't much love for the Pistons from the other teams around the league or from the general basketball audience. The long-term consequences of this have been extensive. Isiah Thomas was kept off of the 1992 Dream Team because of how the players felt about him. And Isiah is also very rarely brought up today in the conversation of the greatest point guards of all time, even though he certainly deserves to be in it. Again, I believe another one of those long-term consequences is the fact that the media and the league basically never talk about what is arguably the most heroic playoff performance of all time. It happened in the 1988 NBA Finals between the defending champion Los Angeles Lakers and these Detroit Pistons. The Pistons were up 3-2 in the series, with Game 6 being played in Los Angeles. Detroit had a golden opportunity to win their first championship of the decade, but in order for that to happen, their star player was going to have to excel on the court. The Lakers were leading 56-48 in the third quarter, when Isiah Thomas decided to take over completely. Isiah was making basically everything, like runners, contested jumpers, and driving layups. He scored 14 straight points for the Pistons, and the momentum was beginning to swing in their favor. But that's when tragedy struck. With a little under 5 minutes left in the third, Isiah rolled his ankle and was in agonizing pain. Based on his time spent on the ground, no one expected Thomas to be able to continue. And before you think this was an over-dramatized situation, there is visual evidence that Isiah's ankle wasn't just hurt, but it had swelled like a balloon.
Came back and played on 1 foot.
You know, during that period of time, I was laying there thinking like,
this is it. You were thinking that you had to do it this game right there, right?
Yeah, and because we came to win Game 6, right?
Yeah.
And all the heartache that we had went through, the mistakes that I had made, and then I started thinking about like, you know, my mom and stuff, and just like I got to find a way to play, just to do something, just to get back into the game.
Somehow, Isiah pushed through the pain and was returning to the court. Walking on that ankle alone must have been very difficult, but to play basketball on it and stand out among the rest is a feat that's hard to even fathom. There was 3 minutes and 44 seconds left in the third when Isiah rejoined the action, And somehow, he maintained his fire, as he continued to hit ridiculous shot after ridiculous shot. Despite playing on 1 foot, Isiah scored 11 of the Pistons' final 15 points of the quarter. In other words, Thomas scored an NBA Finals record 25 points in the third quarter alone. This is a record that still stands to this very day. Healthy or not, no other player has ever scored that many points in a single quarter of an NBA Finals game. And again, Isiah did this on an ankle that was roughly twice its normal size. The fourth quarter was an intense back and forth affair. Down by 1 point with just over 1 minute remaining, Isiah Thomas yet again hit an incredible baseline jumper to give him 43 points on the evening and a 100-99 lead over the Lakers. The Pistons continued to hold a 1-point lead with less than 20 seconds left in the ballgame, but unfortunately for Detroit, Bill Laimbeer apparently fouled Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on this skyhook, in what is now known as one of the most controversial whistles in the history of the league. This play is now famously called the Phantom Foul. Kareem would go on to make both free throws and the Lakers would win Game 6. Los Angeles would go on to win Game 7 in controversial fashion as well, making the final 2 games of this series some of the greatest what-if moments in Pistons history. So to recap, at the end of Game 6, Isiah Thomas had 43 points, 8 assists, and 6 steals on 56%. And of course, the single quarter record to go along with that. In my opinion, if Michael Jordan should be celebrated for his 63 against the Boston Celtics in a loss, and if LeBron James should be celebrated for his 50-point game in a loss in the 2018 Finals, then there's no question that we should significantly honor this record-breaking performance from Isiah Thomas as well, especially when you consider what he had to push through in order to do it. So what do you guys think? Was this the most heroic playoff performance of all time? And if not, what was? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Shout out to the members as always. A link to become a member is in the pinned comment. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.